Good morning, and welcome to episode 133 of Getting Rich. I'm your host, Rich Checkan, president of Asset Strategies International, and today is Wednesday, July 26th, 2023. Greetings to you today from beautiful Boca Raton, Florida. I'm down here in Boca Raton at the Boca Raton Beach Club for the Rule Investment Media Natural Resource Symposium. That's a mouthful, but I got to tell you, we've got a lot of people here between virtual and online participants. We've got over 1,000 attendees, and they're hearing a lot of information here about de-dollarization, about the launch of FedNow, about what's going on in the natural resource space. And yesterday was a fantastic day. That was where we kind of got our limelight, was in the precious metals portion of the program. I got to tell you what's on everybody's mind today, though. Wednesday the 26th is the FOMC meeting. It's a foregone conclusion that we're going to have another quarter point interest rate increase here today. The big thing that everybody's looking for is what's the signaling, what's the messaging from Jerome Powell and the Fed on where we go next. I'll have more on what I think that's going to be in a second, but the bottom line is everybody's looking for keys and cues as to when this is going to pause, when this is going to stop, and when we're going to start going backwards and maybe start lowering interest rates again. The metals are posturing prior. Let's take a look at those numbers. Gold today is at $1,969.90. That's down 0.2% from last week at $1,974.20 an ounce. Silver's down 1.4% this week to $24.73 from $25.08 last week. Platinum down 1.8%. It's at $971 an ounce this morning when it was $989 an ounce last week. And palladium is down 1% to $1,314 an ounce from $1,328 last week. As you can imagine, with silver lagging behind gold this week, or falling faster than gold, the gold-silver ratio, the number of ounces it takes of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold, increased to 79.94 from 78.99. That is still below that magical 80 number, but just barely. And the US dollar surged, if you will, a little bit this past week. It's up to 101.14 from 100.17 last week. In my opinion, that is still not a strong dollar. Now, again, everybody's looking for cues from the Fed. My gut feeling today is you are not going to hear anything that matters from Jerome Powell other than we're raising rates a quarter point. I don't think he's going to say anything of meaning. I don't think he's going to signal what they're doing in the future. But you know what? It doesn't matter, right? We already know what's happening. I was asked the other day, because we look at the markets and we know that gold is holding up well, but most of that is coming from central bank purchases. It's really not coming from the investor sector. And I was asked, when do you think the investors are going to get into this? And I told them it's like 1 or 2 interest rate increases away, because that's all the Fed has. They've got nothing else. They're going to raise it today, I am certain. They're going to raise it probably one more time, and they just can't go any higher because they cannot service the debt at these interest rates. So who cares what the Fed says? We know where they're going. We know where they are. We know what happens in the future. And, the question is, prior to that last interest rate increase, have you got gold? I think it's going to fall in line very nicely with what we usually see as a fall rally following the summer doldrums when the Fed is done and gold's ready to go ahead and take liftoff. So get your ducks in order, if you will. Get your gold coins in order. It's coming. In the meantime, we'd like you to go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us. Send us your comments and questions. Like us, of course, I hope. Follow us on social media. Get our various email alerts and newsletters. But don't ever forget that getting rich starts with keeping what's yours.